Okay, so we'll take a look at some mixing in Maschine in this video, and I thought it might be useful to maybe load in a project. So I'm going to scroll, browser button, go to projects, load in one of these projects. Let's see what loads up here. So projects, as we discussed previously, is a combination of groups that will contain various different sound slots, and contain within the groups all the different patterns and events. So loading in a project is quite useful in this instance. So if we go and loop over one of these scenes, because we've got lots of stuff in here. So we'll start by taking a look at mute and solo. I'm not sure if we've gone over that in enough detail, I mentioned it enough yet. So we can solo and mute sounds groups very easily and quickly using these two buttons down here. So I'm going to go solo here, hold solo, and click on group A, which is my drums. So I've soloed my drums now, it's just muted all the other stuff. So I've soloed at group level, but I can also solo at sound level now. Solo this kick, which obviously has nothing loaded, or the side stick. To just bring one of those individual sounds into focus. And then to unsolo again, I just, with solo pressed down, click on the sounding slot again. Solo, with it held down still, unsolo. Or say if I soloed that tom, I can now bring other stuff into the solo group by unmuting it. So holding mute, unmuting some sound slots to bring them into this solo group, so I can just reference them a little bit closer. To unsolo everything again, it's the same process. And again, at group level, I've soloed the drums. I could either just unsolo them everything, or I could unmute, say, just the pluck strings to bring them into the group. Playing anything, there you go, main instruments, bring them in, or the bass. So mute and solo, very well, simple ones function really, but just very quick for just, and again, so mute works in the same way, just hold mute, and then I can just mute individual sound slots, and you can see that they're represented, that they're muted, because they go a dimmer colour on the RGB colour displays. So now let's get into a little bit more detailed mixing. So we have a dedicated mixer button now, which makes this process very fluid. So I can just hit on that mixer button and it brings up my Maschine mixer, and you can see here it's representing the 16 sound slots. Because we only have 8 encoders, it's only shown as 8 of the sound slots within our group of drums. So I can scroll to the right and I get my other 8 slots. So right and left will show me all, scroll across all 16 sound slots within this group. We're familiar with groups now and sounds contained within groups. Or I could go to, say, group B, and it's showing me all my sounds in group B and the levels. And we can see we've only got 5 sounds playing stuff in group B. Go to group C, it's just 1 sound. Or go to group D, and I think that's again just 1 sound. So we can mix very easily. So I've gone into the mixer, I'm in the drum group, solo the drum group. And we can use a combination, well, we can either use this 4-way encoder to change levels. So let's go and highlight this stick because that's actually playing in this group. So with the 4-way encoder, turn it up. And it turns it up or down in 0.5 dB increments. Or I can hold shift and it's much more exacting in how we edit the sound. So yeah, turn up sounds up and down using this 4-way encoder or using the respective knob encoders here. And like I was saying, we can scroll right to left to bring sounds into focus, switch between the 1 to 8 and 9 to 16 in our sound slots. And then I can use these encoders, or I can use this 4-way encoder to do pretty much everything by just hitting the right and left. And I just scroll through, and then I can go to the tom, turn that up, scroll over here, go to this ride, turn this up or down. So I can do a lot of mixing just from the one button, or use these encoders, so it depends on the workflow. And we can get between groups to mix using this button here, or using our groups buttons, or we can use this 4-way encoder. If we go up, it takes us up a level. So at the moment we're at sound level. So let's go back to our drums. We're at sound level. I want to quickly jump up to group level. I just hit the up button and it goes up to the group level. I've muted everything else to bring that. And then I can mix at group level, turn all of the main instruments up, turn all of the drums down. For example, or the bass, turn that up. And again, scroll over to my main instruments, hit down to get back down a level, and then start mixing stuff in here. And we can also pan stuff. So let's go back to our drums, using the 4-way encoder, go up, across to the drums, back down again. And if I press down on the encoder, you notice that the level is saying 1 dB for that tom. That's the level it's at. Press down, then we get our pan options. So then I can either pan using the encoder or pan using the knob encoder here. Scroll along, pan stuff, and then to get out of pan, just hit that again, and it comes back, brings the level back up, and then we can start editing the levels again. So some stuff there, mute, solo, how we can use that, and also how we can access the mixer and how we can change elements using the mixer.